dear students of class 11th, this video lecture covers second unit, that is the beginning of second unit. The unit number 2, unit number 3 and unit number 4 of your class 11th combinedly covers very important branch of physics which is called mechanics. Dear students, mechanics is said to be the heart of physics. If in a body heart is not working in proper way, it is difficult to survive. Similarly, in physics, if mechanics branch is not clear, it will be difficult to survive in this subject. Mechanics means study of body in motion. When body moves, how the parameters associated with the body keeps on changing. The branch in which we discuss this change of parameter is known as mechanics. So in general, mechanics means study of body in motion. Dear students, there exist three different categories of mechanics. Number 1, statics. Number 2, kinematics. And number 3, dynamics. Statics, kinematics and dynamics. Statics is that branch which deals with body which is at rest, though so many forces are acting on it. A body is experiencing so many forces, yet it is at rest. Still it is at rest. The branch which deals with this type of situation is known as statics. Kinematics. It is that branch in which we discuss motion of the body without knowing cause of motion. How velocity is changing, how position is changing, how action is changing, that we want to know. But we don't want to focus what is the cause of motion. So neglecting the cause of motion, if we try to measure the different parameters of the body, the branch of physics in which we do so is known as kinematics. And dynamics is that branch of physics which deals with different parameters associated with the body in motion and also considering the cause behind it. What are the important parameters? What are the important external factors because of which body is moving? If we focus here also, then the branch of physics is known as dynamics. So before starting the mechanics, it should be clear whether the situation is based on statics, situation is based on kinematics, or situation is based on dynamics. In this unit, we will focus only on kinematics. We will not think why body is in motion, who is responsible for the motion, that we will never think. We discuss how parameters of the body changing with time, that is, we focus on the kinematics. Now, dear students, before starting the motion, we have some parameters which should be cleared. They are: number 1, what is motion? Number 2, what is a reference point? Number 3, point, object and extended object. Number 4, distance. Number 5, displacement. Number 6, speed. Number 7, velocity. 8, acceleration or retardation. 9, average speed. And 10, average velocity. These are called different parameters associated with the motion. Mostly when we do the numerical based on the mechanics, We try to calculate these parameters. We try to know how these parameters are changing with respect to time. So first top point is, what is motion? Right from class 6, 7th, 8th or class 9th, you are aware with the definition of motion. A body is said to be in motion when its position keeps on changing with respect to time. This is the simplest definition of the motion everywhere we use. A body is said to be motion when the position of the body keeps on changing with respect to time. Depending upon how the position of body is changing with respect to time, there exist three types of motion. Number one dimensional motion. Number two, two-dimensional motion. And number three, three-dimensional motion. One-dimensional motion. Also called motion in straight line or rectilinear motion. These are the different names given to one dimension motion. Such type of motion in which only one position coordinate of the body changes with respect to time. Such type of motion in which only one position coordinate of the body changes with time is known as one dimension motion. Suppose a body is kept at the origin and along x-axis it is thrown. As time changes, position of body changes only along x-axis. Here coordinates, position coordinate of the body will be 0, 0, here x1, 0, here x2, 0, here x3, 0. We can say that as time is changing, only x coordinate of the body is changing. From the same point, when body is thrown in vertically upward direction, its y coordinates keeps on changing. So this is also the example of one dimension motion. This is also the example of one dimension motion, because when body moves in horizontal direction, only x position coordinates keep on changing with time. When body moves in vertically upward direction, only y position coordinates keep on changing with time. Now since either motion is horizontal or motion is vertical, path is straight line. That is why they are known as rectilinear motion or motion in straight line. So what are the example of one dimension motion? Horizontal motion and vertical motion. These are the examples of horizontal motion, one dimension motion. What is two dimension motion? Such type of motion in which body moves in such a manner that with respect to time, two position coordinates continuously changes. Body was initially at the origin having position coordinate 0, 0. This is x-axis, this is y-axis. Neither body is moving along horizontal direction nor body is moving along vertical direction. We have thrown the body like this at some angle theta from the horizontal. At some time body will be here, again after some time body will be here, again after some time body will be here. Here when body was present, its position coordinate were x1, y1. When body will be present here, its position coordinate will be x2, y2. When body will be present here, its position coordinate will be x3, y3. We can say that as time is changing, both position coordinates are changing. That is why this type of motion is known as two-dimension motion. Now in this type of motion, instead of straight line path, body moves in a plane. This blackboard is a plane and body is moving on this blackboard. So when body moves, perform two-dimension motion, body moves in a single plane. That is why two-dimensional motion is also known as motion in a plane. Examples of two-dimension motion: circular motion, as the different hands of your clock are performing circular motion, and the plane is vertical in which they are moving, comma, projectile motion. What are these motion? We discuss later on. So two-dimension motion is also called motion in plane. Examples are circular motion and projectile motion. Now three-dimension motion. When body moves in such a manner that with respect to time three position coordinate changes. समय के साथ तीन पोजीशन कोऑर्डिनेट चेंज हो रहे हैं, then such type of motion is known as three dimension motion. It is also known as motion in space. Motion of mosquito, motion of kite, motion of earth, all are the example of three dimension motion. बिकॉज टाइम के साथ में तीन पोजीशन कोऑर्डिनेट्स लगातार चेंज होते हैं. तो दिस इज हाउ वी कैटेगराइज मोशन. नाउ सेकंड इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट इज रेफरेंस पॉइंट. Whenever we discuss the motion of the body, we assume a point with respect to which motion is observed. The point with respect to which we observe the motion of the body is known as reference point. Reference point is also very important in the numericals because this reference point decides whether body is moving away from us or body is moving towards us. If we are taking an example that two friends are standing at some distance apart and ball is here. If we assume friend A as the reference point and ball is moving towards right, we will say that ball is moving away from us. But if we assume friend B as a reference point, then that friend will say that ball is moving towards us. So this friend is saying ball is moving away from us, this friend is saying ball is moving towards us, because whether motion is away from the observer or motion is towards observer, that is decided by only reference point. If reference point is taken at A, we will say body is moving away from the observer. If reference point is taken as B, we will say that body is moving towards observer. So reference point is that point with respect to which we observe the motion of the body. Point object and extended object. When distance traveled by the body is very large as compared to its size, जो बॉडी डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल कर रही है वो उसके साइज के कंपैरिजन में बहुत ज्यादा है, then body is treated as point object. For example, motion of the ball, the distance which ball travels remains much more than the size of the ball. For example, motion of train from one station to other, the distance which train travels is more than the length of the train. For example, the motion of earth around the sun. These all three cases we will take body as a point object because distance travel is much more than distance travel of the body is much more than dimension. But if distance travel by the body is in the range of the dimension of the body or little bit more than the dimension of the body, then body is said to be extended object. In this unit we will discuss or we will assume all the bodies as point object. The motion of extended object we discuss later on. So in all the numericals we will assume the body as a point object because the distance traveled by the body will be much larger than the size of the body. Next is distance. Total path length traveled by the body during motion is known as distance, or length of the path between initial and final position of the body is known as distance. This is the simplest distance. So many times you have heard in junior classes also. Distance is a scalar quantity. Hence it consists of only positive value. Distance cannot be taken with negative sign. Displacement. The shortest distance between initial and final position of the body is known as displacement. Displacement is a vector quantity. It can acquire positive value as well as negative value. If motion is on straight line path, always distance will be equal to magnitude of displacement. Why we are taking magnitude? Because displacement may acquire positive value, may acquire negative value. But if motion is in plane, suppose a ball was here, reaches up to B, again reaches up to C. So this is the initial point, this is the final point. This is the displacement of the ball, and x1 plus x2 is the distance of the ball. Definitely this displacement will be less than x1 plus x2. So either distance will be equal to mod of displacement, or distance will be more than mod of displacement. So if we combine them, we write distance will be more than or equal to mod of displacement, or mod of displacement will be less than or equal to distance. Never displacement exceeds distance. Always displacement will be either equal to distance or displacement will be less than distance. There is no possibility that displacement will be more than distance. Make it clear. Speed. Distance traveled per unit time is known as speed. Distance traveled per unit time is called speed. As distance is scalar quantity, time is scalar quantity, so speed will also be a scalar quantity. Speed is distance upon time. It is also a scalar quantity. Unit will be either meter per second or centimeter per second or kilometer per hour. As it is scalar quantity, it consists of only magnitude, no direction. Since it consists of only magnitude, it will also have only positive value. Speed cannot become negative. Speed cannot become negative. Velocity, ratio of displacement and time. Ratio of displacement and time is known as velocity. It is a vector quantity. It is also measured in meter per second, centimeter per second, kilometer per hour. As it is a vector quantity, it can acquire positive value as well as negative value. Velocity of body may become positive and may become negative. Both the values velocity can acquire. Now, since already we developed the relation distance and displacement, and we are saying that distance will be more than or equal to displacement, therefore speed will be also more than equal to velocity. Always speed of the body will be greater than or equal to mod of velocity. In reverse order, we can say that velocity is less than mod of velocity is less than or equal to speed. Never velocity exceeds speed. Either velocity of the body will be less than speed or velocity of the body will be equal to speed. Under what condition both will be equal? When body is moving on straight line path. Then speed will be same as well as velocity. Acceleration. Change in velocity per unit time is called acceleration. Change in velocity per unit time is called acceleration. That is, acceleration is equal to final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. It is vector quantity, so consists of magnitude as well as direction. If final velocity is more than initial velocity, acceleration will be positive. If final velocity is less than initial velocity, acceleration will be negative. This negative acceleration is also called retardation. So when body is moving in such a manner that its final velocity is less than initial velocity, then we say that body is performing retarded motion. Body is having negative acceleration. Otherwise, if body is moving in such a manner that final velocity is more than initial velocity, then body is said to having positive acceleration. Average speed. The ratio of total distance traveled and total time taken. Total distance traveled and total time taken. This is average speed, and average velocity will be ratio of total displacement and total time. As we know that total displacement and total distance traveled will be equal only when body is performing straight line motion. So while body is performing straight line motion, both will be equal. If motion is not in straight line path, motion is 2 dimensional or 3 dimension, then average speed and average velocity will have different values, because then total displacement, total distance will not be equal. Now these were the that parameters which already you heard in junior classes, dear students. Now two important points here I want to share before ending the video. Types of acceleration as well as frame of reference. Dear students, you know acceleration consists of magnitude as well as direction. These two property remains associated with the acceleration. As I am wearing t-shirt and pant, I have a combination. If only I change the t-shirt, pant remains same, we say that dress is changed. If our pant is changed, t-shirt remains same, then also we say dress is changed. Similarly, as acceleration consists of magnitude as well as direction, magnitude is changing, direction not changing, we say that acceleration gets changed. Similarly, magnitude is constant, direction is changing, we say that acceleration is changing. Now, as you know, acceleration depends upon change in velocity. As we discussed just now, that change in velocity upon time is called acceleration, and velocity also consists of magnitude and direction. So here is also same case. If magnitude of velocity is changing, direction not changing, we will say that velocity is changing. If magnitude of velocity is not changing, only direction changing, then also we will say that velocity is changing. And since change in velocity is responsible for the acceleration, so depending upon these 2 points, that velocity can change because of magnitude as well as because of direction. We have 2 types of acceleration. Acceleration are of 2 types. Number 1, linear acceleration, and number 2, centripetal acceleration. When body is moving on straight line path, at point A velocity is 5 meter per second, at point B velocity is 10 meter per second, at point C velocity is 15 meter per second, at point D velocity is 20 meter per second. In all the cases, direction of motion is same, only magnitude of velocity is changing. In this situation, body will have linear acceleration because magnitude is changing but direction is same. Body will have linear acceleration, That acceleration about which we discuss in class 8 and that acceleration about which we discuss in class 9. But if body is moving in such a manner that magnitude is not changing, only direction is changing. For example, we have a circular track. From point A person starts moving. Here velocity was 5 meter per second. Here velocity is 5 meter per second. Here also 5 meter per second. Uniform motion is performing. Though magnitude of velocity is same at every point, but direction of the velocity keeps on changing. Here direction velocity this one, here it is this one, here it is this one, here it is this one. So here magnitude is not changing, only direction is changing. Then also we will say that body's velocity changing means body is having acceleration, that is called centripetal acceleration. So how we define linear acceleration as well as centripetal acceleration? Such type of acceleration in which velocity's magnitude changes continuously, direction remains same. And what is centripetal acceleration? Such type of acceleration in which magnitude of velocity remains same, only direction keeps on changing. Now frame of reference. When we discuss motion of any body, any object, we have to assume a frame with respect to which only we observe the motion. That frame is called frame of reference. For example, if you are observing the motion of the train and we are standing on the roadside, frame of reference is earth, because with respect to earth we are observing the motion. For example, the motion of the same train is observed from the plane or from the any other celestial body. Now that body is taken as frame, and with respect to that frame we are discussing the motion. So the frame with respect to which we discuss the motion of the body is known as frame of reference. There exist two types of frame of reference: inertial frame and non-inertial frame. Either motion of body will be with respect to inertial frame or motion of the body will be with respect to non-inertial frame. What is the meaning of these two frames? Dear students, we discuss it in our next video lecture. Please do like, share and subscribe my video channel so that you can get the updates every day. Thank you.